What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. Before I get started, I do just want to bring something up. Yes, I know that my facial hair looks absolutely horrible. I'm in the middle of No Shave November, and I already made a promise and a commitment that I was going to keep it up, and I knew that my facial hair was going to look horrible because I know that I grow facial hair horribly. So just please bear with me. I understand it does not look that good, but it is what it is. There's nothing I can really do about it. Today I wanted to talk about my 10 things that I wish I knew before I lost 180 pounds. Now, some of these are really serious, and then some of them are kind of more for fun, but they are all 10 things that I do wish that I knew before I had lost weight. Let's just jump straight into it. So number one is the scale is not the only way to measure progress. When I first started losing weight, I used to like live and die by the scale. So what the scale said is how I felt about myself that day. Now, the thing I didn't realize is how much your body changes in one day, literally, like with water weight and sodium retention and water retention and things like that. Like those all play a part into how much you weigh, right? A scale doesn't weigh everything. It's not just a body fat monitor, right? It weighs everything. So water weight, everything, right? So I used to like live and die by the scale, but the thing is like there's so many other ways to measure progress, right? There's progress pictures, there is, you know, your clothes fitting differently, there's obviously looking in the mirror, looking at your body, looking a little bit differently, and then there's, you know, inches, you could measure yourself. There's so many other ways to measure progress. Non-scale victories, being able to jump higher or run faster, like those are all things that are important when you're losing weight. So it's not just the number on scale. That's something I definitely wish that I knew before I had started losing weight. Now, speaking about pictures, number two is that I wish I took more pictures when I was starting my journey. Now, obviously I have a good amount of pictures when I was overweight, a little bit more than most people might have, but the thing that I really wish that I had, and I know this might sound silly, but I'm not even sure if I would post it, but just for me to have, is I wish I had pictures of me like shirtless when I first started losing weight. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but it would just be the coolest thing to be able to see that from before and look at like where I am now and be able to compare them. Like that would be incredible, and it's something that I really wish that I did. So if you are about to start thinking about losing weight, please take progress pictures. You don't have to do it shirtless or whatever, but make sure you have those pictures just so you can compare them when you're 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, because it will be super motivating, and you'll be able to see those little changes that you might not see on the scale. You'll be able to see those on pictures. So definitely take pictures when you first decide to start losing weight. Number three is that more information is not always good. As we all know, especially if you're on the internet right now watching this video, right? There is so much information out there for weight loss regarding so many different diets and so many different exercise plans. And I remember I would spend hours and hours and hours looking at one article, and then the next article would contradict everything that first article said, and then I would get confused and then think that this article was right, but then I'd read another article that said a bunch of other stuff that this article didn't say. Paralysis by analysis, right? So that's what I was doing. Like I would analyze and reread all of these things. Now I think that getting information is important, and information is definitely key to continuing weight loss, and I definitely think it's important, but it's to a certain point. And I was definitely in that mode where I was just overanalyzing everything, and I would read way too much, and I would just get way too into it, and I was just, you know, I was just kind of lost. So definitely like it's a fine line, and it's hard to really say when you should stop doing your research. Obviously, I don't think you should ever stop doing research, but just understand that just because you read it on the internet does not mean that it's true. Number four is don't be afraid to start counting calories. Now, this for me was huge because when I first started losing weight, the thought of kind of counting calories, it just seemed like it was too much work. Like I really didn't think that I could do it, and I really encourage somebody, and I'm not saying that you have to always count your calories and always count your calories when you're losing weight. Absolutely not. But I do think it's important to understand how many calories are in the foods that you're eating regularly, so you can kind of judge and tell yourself, okay, I should eat this many of that thing, and maybe hold back on that because I know that has about 500 calories in it, and things like that, right? Because when I first started losing weight, it goes both ways. You could either overeat or you can actually undereat as well. And if you're not counting your calories, you might not understand that you're actually eating way less than you need to. You could actually be eating more, and then in some cases maybe you're eating a little bit too much. So just counting calories, maybe even if it's for like 3 months, just to get a grip on it and understand how to count calories, I think that's incredibly important. And I wish it's something that I would have done in the beginning, because for me personally, I was the person that actually ate too little, because I just thought in my head, the less calories, the less that I eat, the better I'll be doing. And we all know that that just leads to a ton of different eating disorders. For me, it led to binge eating and to just not eating enough, definitely not even eating close to enough. So if I was actually counting my calories from the get-go, and I get that it's daunting and it's definitely scary, but you know, get a food scale and just start from the beginning. You know, you don't have to count everything, but say you start weighing out your oatmeal or whatever it is, right? You just start that process, because I'm serious. Like, if you just at least understand the calories that's in certain foods, you'll be able to make better decisions, and that's something that I definitely wish that I did when I first started losing weight. Number 5 is one that really gets to me still, is just because someone is fit, that does not make them an authority on weight loss. And this goes the same way for even if you have a friend that's lost 150 pounds, that does not make them an expert on weight loss either. Like, go to someone that you know has credentials, that you know knows what they're doing, because there's tons of people out there that have been fit their whole lives that they don't know anything about trying to lose weight or the correct way to go about it. And the same thing, there's a lot of people that have lost weight in an unhealthy manner that maybe it worked for them for a little bit, but that doesn't mean that they should be giving out advice. And I understand that this is kind of weird for me to be saying, because yes, I've lost a lot of weight, and yes, I do give a lot of information, but I truly and 100% believe that the information that I give is helpful, and it really can help people lose weight. Now, with that being said, please, if you hear information that I give and maybe you don't believe it or you're having second thoughts, get a second opinion. I'm not saying that I am the know-it-all of weight loss. Absolutely not. You know, but just make sure that just because someone's fit, that does not make them an authority. And the same thing, just because someone's lost weight, that does not mean that they are gonna know every single thing, and that you should take everything they say for gospel, because everyone is different. And like I said, just because someone's lost weight, that does not mean that they're an authority on weight loss. The reason that this one gets to me so much is because I was the person that would listen to anybody that had lost weight, and I tried so many stupid diets because I would listen to these people that had lost weight, because in my head, I'm like, yo, they're doing what I'm trying to do, or they've done what I'm trying to do, so I might as well just do exactly what they say. Don't question it, don't even think about it, because it's obviously working. And it really messed with me. So please just make sure you do your research. Don't just listen to somebody because they've lost weight. Number 6 is kind of a silly one, but it's completely true. Just because something is a fruit smoothie does not mean that it's healthy or beneficial for weight loss. Some fruit smoothies that you can buy are loaded with sugar, with extra like calories. They have a bunch of just random stuff in them. So just because something's a fruit smoothie does not mean it's healthy. And a lot of times it's actually literally the opposite. Like, they just pack a ton of calories in it, and it ends up being way calorie dense. So please I'm not saying that all fruit smoothies are bad, but just because something is a fruit smoothie does not mean that it's completely healthy. Number 7 is to enjoy the journey as much as you possibly can, because this is something that I tell all of my people that I might be coaching or I might be helping out with weight loss is, remember, you're losing weight to increase the quality of your life. So if the whole time that you're losing weight, you're absolutely you hate your life, you're not enjoying your time, you're never going out with friends, you're never having fun because all you're doing is focusing on losing weight, that's not a way to live, right? Your weight loss should be there to increase the quality of your life. It should be there to make you feel better. It should be there to make you live longer, right? So just try and enjoy it. And I'm not saying it's always gonna be fun. I'm not saying that it's always gonna be easy or that like there's never gonna be an issue. No, I'm not saying that, because this isn't a fairy tale, right? But I am saying, like, if you have a bad day, like, it's okay, right? Like, it's not the end of the world, and just enjoy the journey. Understand that you are going to be living longer after you lose this weight. You are going to be increasing the quality of your life. You're gonna be able to run and jump and like do these things that maybe you've never been able to do before. Like for me, I was never able to tie my shoe. I was never able to, you know, bend down and tie my shoe, and now I can do that. Like, that's absolutely amazing. And just remember why you're doing this, right? You want to increase the quality of your life. You want your life to get better. So if you're constantly stressed and feeling like you're a failure and things, just understand, you know, you're losing weight to increase the quality of your life, and just always hold on to that. Number 8 is something that happens to some people a little bit more than others, but I think it's important to mention. So there will be a lot of people that will either intentionally or unintentionally try to sabotage your weight loss, especially if you know, have coworkers or a lot of friends that you're around. People will try and put food in front of you to see if you'll eat it. And they might not be doing it on purpose, or they might just, you know, especially for me, so this is what happened to me. You know, I had tried to lose weight so many times and failed so many times that my friends and my coworkers, you know, they've heard it a million times. They've heard me try to lose weight. They've heard me say like, oh, I'm not gonna be eating that stuff anymore. And then a week later, I'm eating this stuff again. So just understand that you're gonna have people that are going to intentionally or unintentionally, you know, try and sabotage you. I think it's important to kind of realize, is this person doing this on purpose? Are they trying to sabotage my weight loss? Or are they just, like, they just don't really understand, or they're just used to me maybe giving up, so they're just trying to be nice by offering me pizza in the lunchroom and things like that. But it will happen, so don't be surprised when that does happen. Number 9 might be the most important one, and I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but if you do mess up, understand that it's not the end of the world and that tomorrow is a new day. Because I mentioned this recently in a video, like, you're not gonna fail and slide back too much unless you let those failures compound and compound and compound and compound and add up and add up and add up. So if you have one bad day, I'm telling you, the amount of damage that you actually can do, like as far as fat loss is concerned, is very minimal if it's just one day. So understand that and move on, because literally beating yourself up over having a bad day does literally nothing. It's not helping you. It's not gonna help you move forward. It's not gonna make you stronger. It's just gonna make you, you know, for me personally, it made me, you know, dwell on my sorrows, and I felt like all really bad for myself, and then I would go another day and another day and another day, and then that's when you just end up giving up, because you've had so many days that have compounded. You've gained 20 pounds back instead of maybe gaining 1.5 pounds of fat. You've gained 20 pounds because you've let it go on for like a month, you know. So just understand that you cannot, like, seriously, you cannot do that much damage in one day. So move on and understand it's not the end of the world, and you will be okay. And number 10, this one is super important as well. I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier too, is that less calories does not always equal you're doing better. So what I mean by that is, like I said earlier, I got to a point where I was not eating enough calories, like literally like 700 to maybe 1,000 calories a day. And this is when I was a lot bigger than I am now. So that is incredibly low calories. So just because you're losing weight at a faster rate, or just because you're eating less calories, that does not mean that you are doing better. You should not always feel hungry when you're losing weight. I truly believe that. You shouldn't feel like you're starving. You shouldn't feel like you're literally like you barely have any energy to live or to move. And I know that sounds kind of drastic, but seriously, like, that's where I got to a point, honestly, where if I didn't feel hungry when I was losing weight, I felt like I was failing. Like, if I ever felt full, I thought that I did something wrong, and that's not how it should be. So just remember that, like, less calories is not and does not mean that you are doing better. So there it is, my 10 things that I wish that I knew before I started losing weight. I hope that some of those resonated with you guys. A lot of them were silly, some of them were pretty serious, and like I said, I really hope that it helped you guys out and that you guys got some ideas for if you are starting your journey or if you're in the middle of it. Hopefully those 10 tips will help you out. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I seriously, like, I can't explain how much I appreciate you guys. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, look how buff I am.
Obey the warning signs, and when there are flashing lights or wigwags, don't attempt to cross until they come to a complete stop.